There's a variety of notes that you can play over any dominant seventh chord. In fact, out of the 12 possible pitches from the chromatic scale, you can resolve to 10 notes over a dominant seventh chord. That's what we're going to take a look at today, so stay with me. The altered tensions of the dominant seventh chord refer to flat 9, sharp 9, and flat 13. If we combine these pitches with the chord tones, which are the root, 3, 5, and the flat 7, along with the natural tensions of the chord, which include 9, sharp 11, and 13, there's only going to be 2 notes left over from the chromatic scale that you can't resolve to, which is going to be the 4 and the natural 7. Now, there's a lot of people who understand this theory, but sadly fail to create great sounding lines over these altered dominant sounds. This is based on the idea that they're violating one of the strongest principles about music, which is structure. You see, the natural ear loves to hear structure. So what we're going to do is learn how to create some structure using these altered dominant ideas. The altered scale, also known as the superlocrian scale, or even sometimes called diminished whole tone, can be used to organize these altered dominant sounds. So if we go ahead and play a C altered scale, this is what we're going to have. Now, it's really important to understand that this scale contains a root, a flat 9, a sharp 9, a third, a sharp 11 or a flat 5, a flat 13 or a sharp 5, and a flat 7. Okay, so let's go ahead and learn to make some music out of this. A great way to start to build these scales in different intervals. I want to take the interval of a fourth. This is going to give some angularity to our line that we're going to create. So if we build the scale in fourths, this is what we're going to have. We're going to have C to E, then it's going to go D flat, F sharp, then it's going to go D sharp to A flat, E to B flat, F sharp to C, A flat to D flat, B flat to D sharp, and then C to E. Now I can just hear some of you saying that I'm not playing all fourths because I actually started by playing a major third. And you'd absolutely be right, but that is a fourth harmonized in this particular scale. The reason is because from the root, that's the fourth note up in the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I'm doing fourths, that's the sound, and it gives us this cool combination of intervals. So I've got a major third in there. And then I've got that perfect fourth. Then I've got another perfect fourth. And then I've got 2 tritones. And then I've got another perfect fourth, another perfect fourth, and then a major third. So that gives us this kind of cool sound. Now to make this a little bit more musical, we can use what's called alternating intervals, which basically means that we're going to go up one and down the next. So we ascend up one, we descend down the next. This creates a cool melodic filter that you can use to create more musicality within your scale lines. So straight up, I've got this ascending line here from the third, so C to E. Then I'm descending from the F sharp down to the D flat. Okay, then I'm going ascending from the D sharp up to the A flat, and then I'm going descending from the B flat to the E, then ascending from the F sharp to the C, and then descending from the D flat to the A flat, then ascending from the B flat to the D sharp, and then descending from the E to the C. So this gives us this kind of cool sound that goes like this. I'm going to play this really slowly. Now it's also important to point out that the minor triad, a half step above the root, spells out the flat 9, 3, and the flat 13 of the dominant 7th chord. So if we take a look at that, our root is C. So we got this C altered dominant 7th chord. And the idea that if I play that minor triad 1/2 step above the root, I'm going to have D flat, then there's the E, and then there's the A flat. So that's going to be flat 9 in relation to the C. It's going to be the 3 in relation to the C, and then it's going to be the flat 13 in relation to the C dominant 7th. So that's kind of a cool sound. You know, in fact, the scale that you'd play a 1/2 step above is the D flat melodic minor scale. So we have this scale that plays, it's exactly the same as this scale, which is kind of like the altered scale of the superlocrian scale is a mode of the melodic minor scale. So it starts from the 7th degree. But the thing is that there's a lot of people that grab onto that and they go, oh, I get that, so I'll just play a melodic minor a 1/2 step above. But they forget about the original chord they're playing over. And that's like suicide, because you have to understand how all these notes function as the root, the flat 9, the sharp 9, the 3, the sharp 11 or flat 5, the flat 13 or sharp 5, and the flat 7. I need to know that. So when I'm playing those ideas, I can then resolve back to that with sort of authority, you know, and understand what I'm actually playing. If you do this kind of blind superimposition, then you're just, you know, looking for trouble in the end. So have a go with this and practice some of these ideas. We're going to come back and put this whole line together. Now, a lick that's often quoted to some degree when playing over an altered dominant chord is what's called the Crimea river lick, which goes something like this. Now, it's a great sounding idea, and it really works well over that sound of that C altered dominant chord. And a lot of jazz players will really kind of use the bare skeleton of that line to kind of create some embellishments when they're improvising. So they might come up with something like this. Let me play that a little bit slower. So what we're going to do is take these two lines and we're going to piecemeal them together to create an altered dominant line that we can add to our vocabulary. A little slower. The altered dominant scale can be used to great effect over static dominant 7th chords, especially when mixing with more inside pentatonic and blues ideas. They're also great to use over any dominant 7th chord that resolves up a 4th or down a 5th. The challenge here is getting your ears used to the altered sound produced by the flat 9, sharp 9, and the flat 13. If you're interested in becoming a better improvising bass player and learning great musical content from arpeggios to grooves, then subscribe to my channel now. If you like this video today, then be sure to support my channel by giving it a big thumbs up. And if you really like this video, then please check out my books, my membership website, and my Skype lessons. Until next time, practice smart, work hard, and play creatively.